everyone, I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Mom.
And this is Millennial Mom. And in today's video, we are back reviewing our Married at First Sight Season 10, Episode 12 review, Move In or Move On.
But before we begin this video, we hope everyone is being safe during this time. We appreciate your continued support. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said,
let's get into the video. So on this recommitment episode, Pastor Cal is going to meet with all the guys and Dr. Viviana is going to meet with all the girls. So our first couple we're going to talk about is the most easygoing couple, which is Austin and Jessica.
They are, aren't they? Every episode seems like they don't have issues really, just that particular word that Jessica is missing. So Pastor Cal asks Austin, how's it going? Austin's like, it's been going good. There's been no real surprises. He's very happy how things are going and progressing. And they just make small talk, things like that. Then Pastor Cal says, so what would it take for you to get to decision day, for you to say yes? He said, well, as long as we keep going the way we're going, he pretty much will say yes. But Pastor Cal asked him, so what would say no? And Austin says, well, the deal breaker for him would be mistrust. I was like, that's a good thing, because the only real problem is that he has is if Jessica lies to him. So far, that hasn't happened. Dr. Viviana sits down with Jessica and asks Jessica how's it going. And she too says things going great, how much they mesh and gel and get along, things like that. And she has no real issues. But what she did say was she's in love with Austin and she's waiting for him to tell her. She's afraid to say it to him first. That right there is something that's kind of holding her back a little bit. But she's also decided that she's going to say yes to the commitment ceremony too. But Dr. Viviana suggests to Jessica that maybe you should tell him first. Like, you
that's
break
what
down
I said
the wall.
last episode.
So Jessica said that she was going to do that when they meet up later on to see. But overall, no real issues with this couple for this week. They're doing pretty good. They go back to the house and Austin and Jessica tells each other how things went with their perspective. People they talked to, Cal and Viviana, they expressed what they were feeling. And then, you know what happened? Jessica chickened out and didn't say the L word. She's still waiting on Austin.
You think she chickened out?
I do.
Why?
I think she chickened out. Because she knows in her heart that she loves him, but she just doesn't want to say it first. And like I touched on in our last video, I think Jessica is under the impression that if she tells a man first, or most women feel, not all, that if you tell a man that you love them first, that may push them away.
So later on, we see Brandon meet up with Pastor Cal. And Pastor Cal's just, doing a basic checkup on him, seeing how he's doing, where he's at today. And he's like, I moved out and I don't have no contact with Taylor. Saying he's over it.
Yeah.
But Pastor Cal wants to make sure, they both explored all the options. But Brandon, he's just not here for it.
He's not. He also, Dr. Cal asked Brandon, well, what would it take to have you be recommitted? And he's like, well, Taylor was nice and sweet and she's really smart, which he likes. He said they had fun the first 3 days when they were in Panama. I'm like, wow, just 3 days?
Well, yeah, because that's when it ended.
And so he said that, he wants Taylor to be a wife to him. Someone who's not always out partying, someone that's not on social media, not hanging out with her friends all the time, giving him time and attention. And Dr. Cal told him, it takes two people to move past those roadblocks that they both put up. And was he willing to do it? He said he'd think about it, but at the end, he's decided he was willing to do it if Taylor could commit to the process as well. Taylor met with Dr. Viviana, and Taylor was looking sad and down, and I was like...
You think she's putting on?
I do. But also at the same time, I think she may have thought about some things as it progressed. Dr. Viviana asked Taylor what was the latest going on, and Taylor says that, she doesn't know. She's tried to be friends. She's tried to reach out to Brandon, and, he's just not trying to hear all that. But she realizes that Brandon is nice and sweet too, and she really just wants to be friends. Dr. Viviana says, well, it seems like both of you are playing like a game of chicken, and neither one of you are trying to commit. She's like, you either recommit to this or you don't. And Taylor's sitting there kind of thinking about it a little bit, yeah, I guess. Taylor says she's still willing to give her all, but then Dr. Viviana asked her, so what would it take for you to say yes on decision day? And Taylor says, she just wants to see. She said she knows it's a long shot, but wants to see if it'll work out.
For what?
I don't know, for either one of them. I guess they were trying to try one last time. But with them, it always seems like it's one last effort after they get into a big blowout. Don't it seem like that to you?
Mm-hmm.
So later after the recommitment ceremony, Brandon and Taylor meet up at the apartment. Now this is the part that got me. Brandon came in. I thought he left his key.
I'm sure she left the door open. You know, production.
You keep telling me about the show, but I still want to know where'd you get the key at? Because I saw you leave the key. So they sit down, they talk, they're on the sofa, both saying how they both need to be more open and be more committed. They both agree to that.
I don't believe them. I don't believe neither one of them.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't either.
From everything that led up. Now on this recommitment day, everything's all to the good. I'm like, oh, I missed you.
I missed you.
Get out my face.
Brandon told Taylor he didn't want her to keep living like she was single. And Taylor was like, it's not like that. You know, I just made the video and I wasn't trying to hurt you. I mean, we've heard this song and dance I don't know how many weeks now. At the end, they decided they were going to give it their all and go from there. And then they hugged it out.
Meka and Michael. So before we see Meka and Michael do their recommitment ceremony thing, we have a little snippet of them in the beginning when they're at home talking about cutting grass evenly in a pot.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's not even about their conversation in general. It's about Mika's facial expressions.
Yeah.
Now for weeks, I've been on Mika's side. I'm like, no. She been stressed, you know, she been lied to.
I think we were both kind of on her side a little bit.
Yeah, but you was turning though. You were like,
I turned on that breakfast scene. I was like,
You were like, no, but like I was looking at her face in that scene, and she just had like this disinterested look. I understand that he lied to you so many times and all this stuff, but like if you actually really want to move on, you have to move on wholeheartedly. You can't just half move on and still keep not hate, but like side-eye glance like you don't know what he's going to do next. Because really, you know, you might try to make him look like the bad guy, but you looking like the bad guy too.
So at the recommitment, Michael meets with Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal asks Michael, how's it going? Michael explains his new job. Is it me or does Michael seem like he got a new job every week?
I thought it was the same job.
It seemed like it was a new job to me. Michael says things are going kind of good, but not quite. He says they're on a path of trying to reconnect, so I give him points for that. Pastor Cal says he knows that Michael may have been dishonest in the past. He does feel that being dishonest to your partner can make it, when you do become honest and trustworthy, it takes a longer time to get them to believe in you again. He wants Michael to recognize, you know, the things that he may have said that weren't correct before. So now he's got to work extra hard to get Meka to believe in the things he's saying. Pastor Cal asked Michael, what would it take to say yes at the end of this journey? Michael says he needs more vulnerability. We keep hearing this. More openness, more connecting, and just being together as a couple to grow as a couple. So now we see Meka meet with Dr. Viviana, and Meka starts to tell her about all the things that happened before. How he's not truthful about the gas in his car, the jobs, how she asked for her pay stubs.
I'm like, girl, not the pay stubs.
Yeah, she asked for his pay stubs. He's never shown them to her yet. And I don't know how I feel about that. If he's bringing home money in the house, I don't necessarily know if he should show you his pay stubs right now. I don't think she would believe him anyways.
I mean, you can fake pay stubs.
That's why I said I don't think she would believe him anyways. But she asked Meka one thing. Are you a soft place for him to fall? Meaning, are you so rough around the edges, have so much resentment built up? When he does tell you something that is the truth, are you so unwilling to listen to it that you just have this brick wall up? Meka took that into consideration. She was like, I never thought about that before. Dr. Viviana asked Meka, what would it take for her to say yes? She said the same thing, the recommitment, the vulnerability, the opening up, the conversations, being honest and open.
So they both need to be vulnerable and honest to each other.
Yeah, but I think Meka feels and Michael feels that each other are opening up, that they're just doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. Because if
they are.
Well, I know they are, but if they both felt they were vulnerable to each other, then they wouldn't keep saying it like over and over and over. It seemed like every time they're around each other, going out or whatever, you're not vulnerable. Well, you're not vulnerable. Later on at the house, they mentioned how they want each other to be open and honest. And Meka said, well, I thought I was being that. And here we go again. Michael's like, well, I think you're trying, but I think he could do a better job. So that kind of puts Mika off. They almost had like a little bit of argument at that time. Mika tells Michael what Dr. Viviana said about being a soft place to fall. Michael was like, yeah, that's about right. I need you to be more open to my feelings. He says, I'm the one that manages the feelings and being open and everything. He says, I don't think you're doing that quite yet. Even though they had a conversation about what they were talking about, I still think they kind of had like this little rift between them. So I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Hopefully it's the trip to Jamaica. Next we have Katie and Derek. And Katie and Derek also have a little snippet scene before they see Pastor Cal and Dr. Viviana.
Yeah.
And in this scene we see Katie like getting on Derek's head about his dreams and talking about, they're not realistic and he needs to be more stable or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl,
that is so wrong.
Why are you trying to crush this man's dreams? Like, you're his wife. Like, you should be like, supporting him, be his little cheerleader, as we heard someone say later.
Yeah.
But it's like, I was just so confused by this. I'm like, Katie, first of all, I was getting, power tease Tasha and Ghost. When Ghost wanted to get out the drug game and Tasha was like, no. And then he moved on to
Angela.
Oh, girl, that's not an excuse. But, the writer was trying to say, oh, it was because, Tasha wasn't trying to support his dream. That was just a little side note.
It was.
But do you want like someone who's like a mafia? She wants someone with so much machismo, like
Katie.
so much aggression. But it's like, sis, don't you have dreams too? Like, do we all gotta live boring lives?
I just thought that was very wrong. And I'm surprised that Derek was mature enough to continue on that conversation without getting loud. Because you know what? Dreams never die. Just like education. If you want to continue your education, you want to do dreams. Hey, we talked about this YouTube thing years ago. Here we are. Katie says she wants a real man in her confessional. But outside that, she told Derek that, you know what, I'm tired of hearing you talk about the songs you write for Christmas. I'm talking about that. I just don't think they're realistic. If we have a family one day, you have to put those dreams aside. Actually, that's not true because you know what?
Little kids love songs.
Having a family are people's dreams too. So she just discounted everything she said, but she was wrong on all levels with that, and we don't have enough time in this video to talk about it. Pastor Cal talks to Derek and asks Derek, how's it going? Derek tells Pastor Cal that he was upset that Katie was shooting down his dreams. And Dr. Cal was like, what? Why would she do that? Like everyone has their right to have their own dream. And Derek's like, yeah, I know, but she just doesn't think they're realistic, doesn't think that our dreams would be more than having a family. She thinks having a family is more than my dreams. Pastor Cal asks, what would it take to say yes? Is he still committed? Derek says, yes, he is. Derek is all in and has always been all in with Katie. I think Katie pushes buttons to Derek because she doesn't feel like he's the type of man maybe that she wouldn't necessarily have picked for herself. Like
she don't want him. She wants her ex.
I wasn't going to say that. But I was thinking the same thing. Because why would you keep shooting him down? Because of a dream? We all have dreams, whether they come to fruition or not. Katie meets with Dr. Viviana. And Katie mentions the dreams to Dr. Viviana. And Dr. Viviana's face is like, Dr. Viviana asks, why does it worry you so much about Derek's dream? She's like, well, he's all over the place and there's too many of them. I just couldn't get past that. Like, who are you to say what someone can do? That's like last episode we touched on a bucket list. But Katie doesn't understand that. She's just like, no, it's too many. He's unrealistic. He's not putting me first. With his dreams, he's not putting you first. So to me, Katie has a type of insecurity that Derek is putting her first. When in all reality, Derek put Katie on his health insurance because she lost hers. Because she was under her parents. So when they got married, she was dropped. So that's putting you first. But Dr. Viviana tells Katie, I think that you may feel like he's not your cheerleader. Or you're not his cheerleader. Which way she said?
She said that you need to be his cheerleader.
Oh, that's what you were touched on. Yeah.
Be his support. Gotta be like, yeah, even if you don't 100% agree with it, you're his wife, And in a marriage, you're supposed to make your spouse feel like, you're there for them, you support them. That's what marriage is for. Or else you could just be by yourself and have kids by yourself, kick it by yourself. But people want to do it for a partnership and a companionship.
Yeah.
But she feels like, well, I want to be number one and all this other stuff. Like, you can't do it with him.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of life you want to live? Boring?
But back at the apartment, Derek and Katie are talking about what happened. And you know what? Katie apologized.
Yeah, she said she realized that maybe she should. Why didn't you think about this the first time? Why didn't you have to have someone to tell you that you should be supporting your spouse?
Yeah.
Because you want him to support you.
Yeah. So Derek accepted her apology. They talked it out. They were like, well, you know, I'm going to support you in whatever you decide. And,
She's a liar.
And if you do want to write that Christmas song, I'll play the cowbells. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, too late. You already said no.
So now we have Zach and Mindy. And we see Zach meet up first with Pastor Cal. And he told Pastor Cal, you know, it's been a challenging and eventful month. They have ups and downs, you know, just talking all nonchalant like he's been there 24/7.
Yeah.
And Pastor Cal was like, so why haven't you moved in still? And have you been faithful to Mindy? And he was like, yeah, I've been faithful. No, he's a lie. Because Pastor Cal was like, so when did you reach out to Lindsay?
Yeah.
He was like, you know, a little while after the honeymoon. And my thing is, one, why are you reaching out to her friends? Two, just like someone said, I've seen many people say this, and I saw this too. Lindsay kind of looks like Mindy, just with blonde hair. So I'm like, what's the issue, Zach?
Maybe it's personality. The personality difference.
Oh, personality difference.
Yeah.
How would he even know her friend's personality when he should be getting to know her?
Ask Zach. I don't know. Pastor Cal asked Zach, are you committed? Zach says if he left today, he would have a feeling of regret. I was like, regret for who? Mindy? Or yourself? Pastor Cal's suspicious of this, and he actually calls BS on this. I called BS a few episodes ago, but did nobody ask me. Zach says that he was willing to work things out and to move forward with Mindy. Pastor Cal says, so does that mean you're recommitted to this process? Zach said yes. Do you believe that?
No, it's just like Pastor Cal says. It's like, is he doing this because he actually wants to? Or is he trying to make himself look like the good guy? Or is he trying to get a Pantene, promote a business or something like that, you know? And it's kind of, to me, I feel like he's doing this to try to make himself look like a good person. And as Pastor Cal's like, you don't look like a good person at all. Like,
right.
No, because recap, once again, you're talking to a friend. You talk to her more than you talk to your own wife. You don't live there.
You don't even call your wife, so definitely.
You leave at midnight, if you even come, when the cameras is on. And it seems like they're only doing this for cameras.
Now we see Mindy, and Mindy's telling her issues to Dr. Viviana. And Mindy says that she doesn't want to be the bad guy. She doesn't want to be the one who gave up, that she wants to continue on this process. And Dr. Viviana's trying to tell her, like, you need to make a choice for you, not for Zach. If you feel like this marriage is not working out, then you need to let it go. There's no reason to recommit to anything. You know, you're not going to look like the bad guy when you gave it your all. Dr. Viviana goes on to ask Mindy, what would it take for her to say yes? And I'm thinking nothing, but she didn't ask me. She asked Mindy. Mindy said if she felt like she was loved and cared for by Zach, and she would have that feeling of happiness and of a marriage, and if Zach moved in and they try to make things work, she would say yes.
And Dr. Viviana was like, could you give me more? Give me more. Something else, you know. You know, think something bigger for yourself, not just the bare minimum.
Yeah. And Mindy actually had a hard time with coming up with things to say, actually. Because, again, she doesn't want to feel like she gave up. But honestly, we can see that Mindy gave it her all. It's Zach who gave up from the honeymoon. So, to me, her answer, in my opinion, should have been no.
She gave up on your night when you saw her in the hallway.
That was the honeymoon.
What was that, day one, though?
That was day one. We saw, when Michael left to get his own room, and then next thing you know, you saw Mindy walking the halls. I'm like, just go home. He's a stranger, and he's still a stranger. Go home or get another room like Michael, but I still would have enjoyed my honeymoon solo. After that, they're both meeting. They both meet up at Mindy's. Because pretty much it's Mindy's, right? And Zach comes over, and Mindy's excited. She's excited. She's like, oh, Zach decided he was going to stay the night, and I'm excited about that. And he comes over. He's got the dogs are there. The dogs are playing with each other. And then she's like, oh, so what's in your backpack? I'm like, if he's staying over or he's committed to stay at the house full time, why do you only have a backpack?
What did he say he had in his bag?
In his backpack? He said a bunch of nothing. I said, well, there it is.
He meant that.
He sure did. Because I'm like, where's your luggage?
Because he started unpacking. He had sweatpants and socks, and Mindy was unfolding like, ooh, I want to wear these.
Well, but before that, they were eating chicken that Mindy ordered, and they're just having like awkward conversation.
Right. The Buffalo Wild Wings, because she remembered that he liked wings. And I remember watching this part, and I'm just like, you're doing all this for him?
Yeah.
What has he done for you? Besides talk to your friend on the low and accuse you of lying.
Yeah. And you know what? This episode, we was waiting for that secret.
Yeah, because if that was me and I knew that he was coming over, I would applaud and be like, hey, girl, you just want to come over to chit-chat. But then, you know what? They probably been talking on the side, been like, nah, so you can't come over because I'm coming over.
Yeah. Zach decides to go ahead and unpack, and he's got sweatpants, a t-shirt, and some socks. That's it. Because, see, he said he was leaving early in the morning. He had to be up and out the way early.
And she was like, oh, if you want me to do this for you so you can do that, or that for you so you can do this. And everything was like for him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, girl, don't accommodate this man. Just like later on the Pastor Cal says, you know, you have to set that bar and set it high.
Yeah.
Because when you don't give that to a guy, they're going to do whatever they want, basically. Set their own minimum. And Zach's minimum is
0.
It's below 0. It's like, I don't even know what it is. Like, y'all just met each other at the gym one time.
After they get ready for bed, Minnie's so excited. She's like, oh.
Follow him in the bathroom and stuff.
Yeah. They get ready for bed, and she's like, okay. And Zach's like, well, I'm going to go sleep in the other room.
Minnie's face just dropped. I'm like,
boom.
This is why you should have ordered wings for yourself. You should have ate before and then asked him, oh, did you eat? Well, you order something. You know, just...
I want to feel sorry for Mindy. I can't. Mindy has gone through episode after episode after episode of Zach not being there. He's checked out, and he really disrespected you last week. Not only did he check out, he disrespected you by talking to your friend on the side, and you know that they both lied about it.
And called you a liar. I don't know which one's worse.
You know, and even when she asked Zach during that conversation during dinner, you know, about, you know, she wants to be able to trust him, things like that. And, you know, can I see the text? Where the text, he said, I deleted them. Oh, she said, well, Lindsay deleted them too.
What? You busted. You busted. You know that song.
I don't.
So lastly, we see the guys meet up with Dr. Viviana and the girls meet up with Pastor Cal just to talk about the recommitment thing and like the conversations they had after that.
Yeah. So Dr. Viviana asks Brandon, so what are you doing with Taylor to show her that you're recommitted and that you care? Brandon says that they're both trying to work things out and he has forgiven her and told her what he needs and she told him what she needs, and they're trying to work together to build their marriage. Zach says he's putting in a lot more effort and quality time with Mindy, and that he wants to maximize all the available time to be together, like putting in the work.
He just lied to that woman.
He did. Dr. Viviana asks, well, how's he working through it? And what does that look like? He's like, well, you know, he says the same thing again, just maximizing the time, just being there when she needs me and coming over. And Dr. Viviana's like, so Zach is talking in circles, trying to get his point across, and it's not working. Pastor Cal is meeting with the women, and he asks Taylor this time, so is she open to this whole marriage thing? And Taylor says, yeah, they're recommitting, and she's happy with the way things are going with Brandon for now. Do you believe that?
No.
And that Brandon's actually put his ring back on, and she's happy about that, and they're spending more time together. Mindy says that Zach still hasn't moved in, and he brought a bag over. I'm like, not really.
He did bring it back over. He bought the bag with his sweats and his socks, and she put it in her drawer, thinking that she was going to wear it one day, and he took it back with him.
Cal says, well, what kind of bag? Was it a bag of groceries? Ooh. I laughed so hard on that. Because, I mean, that's true because they know how Zach is. He's in and out. He comes.
Hey, open a better bag of groceries.
That's
That'll
true.
last longer.
That's true. Mindy says she's trying to be hopeful and patient and that she really wants this to work out. Now, Jessica is not having this. Jessica chimed in and says, you know what? Zach is nothing but red flags. He is probably portraying himself like he's trying to be, like you said, in a Pantene commercial or something like that, because he's just not here for Mindy and never has been when Mindy has been here from the jump. Jessica was going off. Dr. Cal says he was really talking to Mindy. What you had said earlier. You know, you have to set standards for a man or else, you know, they'll set their own standards. You know, he was trying to tell Mindy, take more pride, take more assertiveness in yourself and hold yourself accountable, and that way Zach won't be able to come and go. And that was pretty much the end of the episode, but I still want to know what that secret is because Zach hasn't said anything yet. Zach changed the subject, and Zach, we need to know what the secret is before the reunion.
You know, when they were showing the clips for what was coming on this season, I did not see that trip to Jamaica. Now, are the producers messing with us because they know we waiting for it, or is it really not going to happen?
I just want to know what the secret is. I don't care about the trip to Jamaica. It's touch and go whether Meka or Michael are going anywhere.
Well, thank you guys for watching this review and all of our other reviews. We really appreciate all the likes, all the comments, all that stuff. We feel for you guys because we're all in it too.
We are.
Stuck in the house. But you know what? We're going to make the best of it. We're going to do a weekly recap to show you what's going on in Vegas because
it's
they
crazy.
shut everything down for 30 days.
The casinos, I've never seen it like this. And I've been here for over 20. How old are you, girl?
23.
Over 23 years. I've never seen it like this.
So stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't be greedy with the food. Your neighbors need food too.
And the toilet paper. And as always, live simply, be grateful.